When I was a kid, I thought Ghost Rider was the coolest shit ever next to Transformers. Now, the funny thing is, even being a kid and not being able to spot bad acting and dialogue and shit CGI, trust me, I thought Shark Boy and Lava Girl was the shit back then. I always had the slightest feeling that this movie was whack, but I could never put my finger to it. And keep in mind, this was at a time when I had the superpower of being able to compress shit like this down into 5-minute segments in my head. And stuff like this felt like it was going on forever and was the coolest shit I ever laid my eyes on. Despite that, Ghost Rider always held a special place in my heart. As a cool burning skeleton guy with spikes all over him and a badass motorcycle, how could he not? Weirdly enough, my girlfriend had a similar experience with it growing up, and we actually bonded over this shit. Which is weird because she consumed very different media than me growing up. Somehow, despite that, Ghost Rider found its way in there.
Yeah, boy.
I don't think this is a surprise to anybody when I say this movie is really fucking bad. How bad? Well, about have a few shots of vodka and you might have the time of your life bad. I honestly don't even know how to review this thing. Like, what do I even say? Everything about this movie is really fucking bad. Like, amateur level stuff. Not just the script and the direction and the acting. The fucking editing is some of the wackiest shit I've ever seen. I'll get to that. I think I'll just go over the things I liked and then the rest. Things I liked. Tim Elliott's narration, obviously. Dude's got a badass voice. He is so badass, in fact, that he got facial hair growing on his fucking cheekbones. What the fuck? The first two transformation scenes were really good. The first penance stare, specifically these couple of frames, cool idea. The fact that the Ghost Rider basically wipes his ass with all of the goons, Nick Cage being goofy, I cannot not love that. The scene in the mirror. Oh my god. And this stunt, unironically, is one of the best shots in scrap that. It's the best shot in the entire movie. This shit was sick. Shit that didn't make any goddamn sense. The fact that Tim Elliott's character keeps telling Johnny he's got no fucking chance in hell to survive unless he stays and listens to him. And then your contribution is what exactly? The scene where he masters the power in like 2 seconds after reading some vague bullshit in a book. All of Blackheart. Bro's literally acting like a fucking 13-year-old. Kinda giving off Minus from Shark Boy and Lava Girl vibes. Apparently he's an angel too.
I've never fallen. I never will.
Sure. What is his motivation exactly? I don't know. And I don't think he does either. He looks here like he didn't even know what taking in all those evil souls meant.
My name is Legion, for we are many.
Yo, you cannot make this shit up. That's the goofiest shit I've ever seen. And all of Tim Elliott's character, like with the final ride being the fucking cherry on top.
This is the end of the trail for me. I got nothing left. I could only change one more time, and I was saving it for this.
Saving it for what? And now go on, ride fucking 500 miles back, you dumbass.
God knows I've made my share of mistakes. Been trying to make things right ever since. Guess all I can do now is hope he sees fit to give me a second chance.
Second chance? Why? You haven't done anything but yap the whole movie. Dude getting stabbed as a fucking skeleton and then waking up the next morning with a stab wound in his flesh. Yet when he gets sprayed with about 150 million bullets, he's totally fine. Yeah, that makes sense. All of the devil, and I'm not even gonna elaborate. Okay. Now for the bad stuff. Okay, shit that sucked. Basically everything. The editing, so fucking wacky. While it's so goofy, it was fun at times. It really did ruin the movie. Certain scenes are cut in a way that it's just, did a fucking 15-year-old make this movie? Like, these stunts going wrong are cut in a way that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't fucking connect. It's clearly two different scenes that are stitched together, or like, not different scenes, but Clearly, like, there was some fucking issues behind the scenes. The fucking dumbass voiceover effects whenever Blackheart or the devil spoke.
Your time will come, but not now.
I'm not going back. I like it here.
The shadow. What the fuck? And this scene under the water, like, what is this shit? I fucking can't. The acting.
That's great. 2 kids on the run with nothing. If your goal is to end up together, that's just a great way to make sure it doesn't happen.
Well, I'd rather take my chances with her than to waste my whole life jumping bikes at some stupid carnival. Dad, I want something better than that.
The dialogue, the fucking beans. I get it. You wanna have him have some kind of fucking quirk. But this isn't it. Fucking goofiest shit ever. The VFX, brother. This movie cost $110 million. What the fuck are these effects? For comparison, fucking Iron Man came out a year later and cost $140 million. And that movie still looks good today. Even better than most new productions, in fact, which is pretty fucking sad. Transformers 1 came out the same year and cost $147 million. And that movie still holds up. And it has fucking giant robots in it for about 90 minutes of screen time. Here the fucking Ghost Rider doesn't even show up until like the 1 hour mark. Did all the money here go to pay Nicolas Cage and the shitty licensed music? I don't get it, man. It's like The Flash, but in 2007. The whole climax. The dumbass sound effects, the editing, this shit. Like, how do you know she didn't hit her head and fucking die? And you're just gonna give him the fucking contract anyway? Like, what the
Sure wish things could have turned out different.
They could have. What the fuck?
No. This is what you are. This is what you always were meant to be. You got your second chance.
Second chance? I thought she was his second chance. The sign he was waiting for this whole fucking time. The one thing he wanted in life taken away from him because of some stupid deal the devil snuck on him. Then he does what the devil wants. He finishes the job, contract over. He can go off and live happily ever after with the girl of his dreams. Joe Rogan forever, remember? And then he decides, no, my power now, bye. Like, first of all, if the devil gave him this power against his wishes, and it's his rider, according to the movie, he can literally control him. Why the fuck doesn't he just take it back? Like, this chick was objectified like crazy the whole movie. And I'm not one of those people who call misogyny on every little bullshit. But dude, she has her tits out in every scene for literally no reason.
I'm Roxanne Simpson on... Hi.
I can't go back.
And her only purpose in the film is to motivate all of Johnny's actions, basically. Like, dude's pretty much depressed the whole movie, waiting for some sign. Then he finally finds it in the form of his old flame. Yay, he can start living finally. Right the old wrongs and shit. Then the devil throws all this bullshit on him, so he's like, hold on, gotta deal with this shit first. And then he does, and he gets what he wants. And out of the blue, he just decides, wait, no, actually, fuck you, I keep the curse. And the devil is powerless? Like, the devil here is the most useless fucking dweeb I've ever seen. He can't do anything. Can't do shit to his son, can't do shit to the Ghost Rider. Like, what in the fuck? The plot is so contrived and stupid. Half the shit doesn't make any goddamn sense, and it's got more holes in it than this dude's supposed to have, according to the logic of the movie. I'm done ranting about this bullshit. I was kinda enjoying myself, but the ending just broke my fucking brain. It's watchable, but not seriously watchable. I would probably have a better time if I drank some beans before. 2 out of 10. I remember being so fucking hyped for the sequel. I thought it was gonna be the best thing ever. And when I finally saw it, I was so fucking disappointed. My 10-year-old me did not like it at all. Probably because it was just so different and ugly looking. All the campiness a kid might enjoy, gone. I must have thought it looked really grimy and ugly and depressing. The Ghost Rider looking and acting so weird. Now that I finally watched it again after like 12 years, I concluded 2 things. First, this isn't a sequel at all. It's a fucking soft reboot. Eureka! And second, this movie goes hard as fuck. Yeah, the campiness is gone and it takes itself way more seriously. There is still goofy shit, obviously. I mean, it's still a Nick Cage movie, come on. But unlike the first movie, this one is actually shot and edited really well. Some practical shots here are pretty great. It's clear the directors put a lot of passion into those sequences. We got some really nice locations in this movie too. And even some CG shots don't look too bad. Like this one is pretty nice. By the way, great idea. Let's all put our hands on this burning man. I imagine they sort of had an idea of what this creature is, so yeah, whatever. And how in the hell did this kid know how? Yeah, you know what? I don't fucking care. A fucking Ghost Rider 1 took a lot out of me, bro. So I'm just gonna blow past this shit. The acting is solid, the sound design as well. I also really like that the kid is actually like acting like a kid, at least occasionally. Like asking Johnny all of these fucking annoying questions like a real kid would. And there's even some bits of decent humor. Plus, you gotta appreciate the Wilhelm scream. Whatever this fucking sound effect is. I was 100% sure it was Minecraft doors, but turns out it's not. The Ryder character went really fucking hard. I loved how it's not just Johnny, but now he's an invincible burning skeleton. He's actually a big scary monster who everybody is scared of. Especially Johnny. I loved how he fucking cackles as he's approaching to roast your ass. I loved the bike design, it's not too over the top. I like the chains being black from all the fire. And what I loved the most is that his clothes are all burned. Like the leather on his jacket and pants and gloves is all seared. Like this scene where you see him for the first time and there's these bubbles forming on his shoulders from the heat. Even his skull and his motorcycle is all seared. That's a cool ass design. He's still OP as fuck. Like he just touches people and they get incinerated instantly. Which is funny, but in character I guess. Now, I personally didn't like the shader they chose here whenever this dude decided it's time to ruin everyone's day, but I do respect the director's choice of doing that. And all of the animated sequences I thought were really nice. A pretty good way to do exposition. It felt more like a comic book movie with those in there. Now, although the plot is nothing crazy or interesting whatsoever, the dialogue makes sense. You understand what's happening and the character motivations are pretty clear. So, bare minimum, but it gets the job done. And the pacing is probably the biggest thing. This movie is only like 90 minutes. They condensed the origin story down from the 20 minutes of slog into this 3-minute animated sequence, which is so much better in every aspect. And surprise, surprise, it doesn't take a fucking hour for the writer to show up. You got your kick-ass opening done in 5 minutes, 2 minutes of backstory, bang, 15 minutes in, Mr. Blaze is blazing. Crazy shit, not gonna lie. I appreciated they didn't make the chick a love interest. There's nothing romantic between the male lead and the female lead. Which is crazy shit we're talking here. Everyone is either calling him John or Blaze or John Blaze. Really, only French Heimdall calls him Johnny Blaze. And it's only about the midway point he starts doing that. And it's with this mocking flair. So I appreciated there was no fucking JB over and over and over. This cost half of what the original film did. And it looks so much better in every aspect. This was clearly made by competent people. Can't say that about the first movie. And despite the plot sucking hairy balls, they still managed to cram some sort of a story arc for Johnny, something the first movie didn't really do at all. So yeah, a pretty good time, unironically. If you're gonna watch either of these movies, I will recommend this one, for sure. 5 out of 10, it was fine.